Yeah, I'll react to that, sure.
Nobles is a mural.
Hey guys, just some short Rick Steves video. Rick Steves Europe videos. Can't talk. Good start. My name's Connor. I just like to watch stuff.
Painted on 24,000
standard
tiles of local porcelain. It was built to soothe the pride of Saxony after it was incorporated into the newly formed country of Germany in the 1870s. It celebrates Dresden's Saxon heritage and its Wettin family dynasty. The artist carefully studied armor and clothing, accurately tracing the evolution of weaponry and fashions through the centuries. Way up at the very front of the parade, an announcer with a band and 12th century cheerleaders excitedly heralds the arrival of this wondrous procession. There are commoners, from miners and farmers to carpenters and students.
You know what's really interesting about the unification of Germany and just Germany as a whole is that so prior to Germany, you just had the German language, right? It's usually where people draw the lines of different cultures is with language, usually. And it seems like Germany really did, well, maybe at the time it was more abrupt, but it really does seem like they encapsulated all of the German-speaking people. Of course, you have Austria and Switzerland, right, where they have some German and you know, Belgium, and but it really does encapsulate all of 95% of, you know, the German speakers, it seems. And now that I think about it, maybe in the 1870s it wasn't so stark. Am I making sense?
And ahead of them, the royals, with 35 names and dates marking 700 years of Wettin family rule. At the year 1694 stands Augustus the Strong, the most important of the Saxon kings. The Saxon ruler was one of the most powerful people in Germany. He was one of a handful of nobles who elected the Holy Roman Emperor. In the 18th century, the larger-than-life Augustus the Strong kicked off Saxony's golden age. His royal festival complex, called the Zwinger, is an example of how the king's extravagance...
The Zwinger?
Royal festival complex, called the Zwinger, is an example of how the king's extravagance made Dresden a European capital of culture. Here at the Nymph's Bath, aristocrats relaxed with royals among cascading waterfalls. Today, the Zwinger is filled with fine museums. The Mathematics and Physics Salon features scientific gadgets from the 16th to 19th century. Finely crafted and incorporating new discoveries with exuberance, the instruments are displayed like dazzling works of art. Imagine whipping out your pocket sundial in the year 1700, or a newfangled pocket watch in 1760 with a risque painting. This calculator from 1650, claiming to be the oldest surviving mechanical calculator, could carry the tens. European royal families aspired to have their own porcelain works, and the Wettin family had one of the best at nearby Meissen. In those days, a king portrayed in porcelain was a happy king. Augustus the Strong was obsessed with the stuff. He liked to say he had porcelain sickness. Here you can enjoy some of his symptoms under chandeliers in elegant galleries. You'll see fine table settings. He had a veritable porcelain zoo of exotic animals and beautiful birds. According to legend, for 151 of these Chinese vases, Augustus traded 600 soldiers, complete with horses, to Prussia. And here at the Zwinger, it just makes sense that the glockenspiel comes with 40 bells made of Meissen porcelain. The delightful
Zwinger, glockenspiel, it's such awesome words to say, just fun.
Glockenspiel comes
glockenspiel, 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 glockenspiel.
With 40 bells made of Meissen porcelain. The delightful chimes are far sweeter than your typical bell.
Yeah, watches are just bracelets now, all right? If you like to collect watches, you're essentially a bracelet collector, okay? I don't know why I have this. It just seems like people who love nice watches, it's just, it's a bracelet. It serves no purpose anymore because you have your phone. Yeah, sure. Sometime. What do I care, right? I don't, why is this getting me like upset? You can't enjoy watches. I won't let you. Stop it. Next. It's just when I see a watch now, when I see someone with a fancy watch, it doesn't even serve a purpose anymore. It's just the same thing as if you had a nice bracelet. Sorry.
Royal Palace, the official residence of Saxon rulers since 1485, is Dresden's historic Green Vault. This glittering Baroque treasure collection is the sightseeing highlight of the city. The collection was begun by Augustus the Strong, featured here surrounded by ancient Roman emperors on the base of an obelisk. It grew into the royal family's exquisite trove of ivory, silver, and gold treasures, displayed in rooms as opulent as the collection itself. Its purpose? A synthesis of the arts as an expression of wealth and absolute power. The amber cabinet shows off what you can do with fossilized tree sap. For example, this exquisite bowl from 1659. The ivory room does the same for elephant tusks, with some strikingly delicate carving. In this amazing ivory frigate, tiny sailors climb the gold wire rigging, all supported by Neptune and his horses.
Wow. Ivory does seem to be pretty spectacular, but obviously it's a material that I don't want to be very valued, because that'll mean more people will kill things for it, but it's beautiful. And it looks so unique, like you couldn't make it of anything else and have it look that way.
The aptly named Hall of Precious Objects, amid mother-of-pearl, ostrich egg, and snail shell goblets, is the ultimate coffee service. This golden coffee service from 1700 is pure gold, iced with enamel, crusted with thousands of precious stones, and crowned by a coffee pot filled with symbolism. Coffee was exotic and trendy back then, and this extravagant centerpiece, while never actually used to serve coffee, certainly made an impression. This captivating ensemble depicts a grand mogul on his birthday. He ruled India when Augustus ruled Saxony. And among Earth's rulers, he was the embodiment of absolute power and endless wealth. Like royal Legos on a silver stage, the figures, made of gold and glazed with enamel, were movable for the king's pleasure. And the finale, in a place all its own, is this dazzling green diamond, one of the largest ever discovered. The adjacent royal armory filled.
I guess me saying that stuff about watches is like calling this a rock, which it is a rock, but it's a very pretty rock.
The adjacent royal armory fills a long room with centuries-old armor. The biggest space in the palace, this room was the scene of medieval war games. Today, its exhibits of jousting models recall those breathtaking pageants of the 16th century. Back then, jousting was something rich guys did when there was no war to fight. The collection offers an unusual chance to see armor not standing at attention, but displayed in action. This ensemble, designed for formal parades, not actual battle, is considered the prize of the collection.
I want to know, that is beautiful. I want to know what it sounded like when like two big beefy guys just went at each other with full armor and just started fighting. Like, it must have sounded extremely, I don't know, but I would love to hear it.
And the little princes needed their armor as well.
Oh, that's my hand-me-down. Is there one more? We going to Leipzig.
Leipzig once had the cobblestone charm
Let's watch
of many
it. All
other
right.
German cities. But long a leading trade center, in the late 19th century, city leaders decided to modernize. They replaced the quaint medieval townscape with a grid of grand and efficient buildings dedicated to trade and commerce. World War II bombs destroyed much of Leipzig, and the communists followed that with 4 decades of neglect. That left the town center a dreary urban wasteland. But in the generation since 1989, the people of Leipzig have dramatically remade their city. Augustusplatz is a busy people zone and a hub for the city's trams. Overlooking that is the University Center, rebuilt in a playful and modern echo of the pre-war buildings that once stood here. Towering high above is a skyscraper built in the 1970s. An erection like this was a big deal in communist times. Locals and tourists alike gather on its rooftop terrace to enjoy a drink and the best view in town. As they rebuilt the city center, one feature that survived was the tradition of inviting shopping galleries that burrow through office blocks. Some of the galleries retain an old-world elegance with venerable shops and restaurants. Others are playfully decorated by contemporary local artists. Leipzig's Renaissance-style town hall with its fine arcade overlooks the market square. Tonight, the fruit and vegetable merchants have made way for a big open-air concert with music and lots of sausages, kraut, and beer. As a traveler, don't be shy. Share a table and strike up a conversation. An event like this is a perfect chance to meet locals.
I feel like it's so much easier to talk with strangers when you're abroad because you automatically have something to talk about. Like even your voice, someone is like, oh, well, you're not from around here. And so that's one of the joys, I think, because I'm normally a very, I don't know if shy is the right word, but it's close to the right word. Socially awkward. There's the term. But over, like, yeah. Hey, Napoleon, have you been there? Okay. I hope you guys are all doing well. I enjoyed that. I think I'll watch a few French videos from Rick Steves Europe, but I don't want to put just a bunch of Rick Steves reactions out one after another, although I might. Hope you guys are doing well. If not, chin up. You'll be good soon. Don't worry. See you next time, guys. Bye.